يا أهلا وسهلا بكل المشاهدين والمستمعين. معاكم ايس من ستيل شاوت. اليوم معي أنا جود وفيصل من 966 باند ميتال من السعودية. نزلت أغنيتين ويعني عارف ما شاء الله الامباكت اللي انتم طلعتوه على الميوزك هذه بصراحة أنا انبهرت فيه له، وحاب انه هذه الحلقة انه نتكلم وندردش مع بعض شوية عن الميوزك اول اوفر البلاينج لايف وكذا حاجة، فحنتطرق لهذه المواضيع حبة حبة. طيب بدي اسألك فيصل بالبداية، كيف عرفت عن الروك ميوزك، او انه ايش اللي خلاك تكتشف يعني انه this is rock music و you get passionate about it.
He saw Ayman Al-Ghamdi يعزف live.
Oh yeah, when Ayman plays live, it's just perfection with a P, not perfection, perfection. A friend of mine introduces me to a guy by the name of Fawaz, who is still a very good friend of mine to this very day. Fawaz was like, you know, do you play guitar? I said, yeah, I play guitar. He's like, well, what kind? I said, acoustic. He's like, hold on a minute, come here. So he took me into this room, and he picked up his guitar, and I will always remember the first riff that he played. And I will play it for you. I think it's River Running Red's first song. So it went something along the lines of when he played that, I was like, whoa, this is crazy, dude. And that's when I said to myself, this is what I want to do. I want to sound like that. I want to play like that. And sign me up. And you know, back in the day, we didn't have gear that was amazing. We didn't have things like a quad cortex or whatever. It was a Zoom 505 pedal plugged into a mixer. There was no amp, there was no cab. It was just basically the most processed guitar sound you could possibly think of. But it sounded so good and it sounded so heavy. I was like, dude, I need you to, you know, teach me how to play guitar. He was like, listen, there's one person that you should call, and his name is Ali Ma'arawi. Okay, let me tell you something about Ali Ma'arawi.
الاسم هذا
90% of the people.
I think إنه هذا من أكثر الناس اللي اشتغلوا معاه هون في الميوزك، صح؟
I'll tell you, and I say it with confidence. 90% of the people that play guitar for Saudiya have had a lesson or two by Ali. Ali is single-handedly responsible for getting people to pick up a guitar and like teach them the fundamentals. He was awesome.
يعني هذا تقريبا أول حتى interaction لإلك مع الميتال community هون في السعودية.
Well, not even with the metal community. يعني I didn't talk to anybody. I just knew Fawaz, who played metal.
That's it. Nothing more, nothing less.
That's it. Nothing more, nothing less.
Okay. طب سؤال جود، انت كيف عرفت فيصل يعني من هذيك الايام، ولا انتوا كيف تقابلتوا اصلا؟
So the funny part يعني في الريليشن حقتي مع فيصل is like completely different paths بالمعنى كلمة complete. يعني أنا من different background different path. هو مرة يعني فيصل أقرب للميتال سين مني في الباث حقه. like أنا I came out of nowhere يعني باب دخلت في الميتال سين وتعرفت على الشباب like واحد ورا الثاني. so فيصل قدر يقابل شباب ويستد لاند قبل لا يكونوا ويستد لاند قبلي. فهمتني؟ أنا جيت متأخر يعني جيت على immortal wasted almost at the same time. فيصل كان قاعد يفكر في أوكتوم. أنا دوبي كنت داخل لسه أوكتوم ما تسوت يعني I think so إنه لسه أوكتوم wasn't established بس the idea was there. I came in بعدين we started اللي هو Firecell قبل بريز بعدين we almost started at the same time. بعدين سبحان الله يعني the moment إحنا we switched to breeze and we started metal nights والأشياء دي we came across together or we started knowing each other through our shows and me and him clicked يعني ever since the first day and we had a lot of fun although we didn't talk much but we had a lot of fun together. like we understood what we're doing is we're enjoying what we're doing. We're not doing it يعني عشان نغصب الميوزك حقنا على الناس. No, we're doing it to have fun as a hobby. الانرجي اللي فينا نطلعه بالميوزك ده and to enjoy it مع الكوميونتي اللي حولنا. So we were يعني like twins بس from different worlds وجينا مع بعض and سبحان الله 20 years later we're doing a lot of shit together. 966 آلية
يعني تقريبا الانتراكشن، يعني تقريبا انه فيصل كان الانتراكشن حقه مع الكوميونتي مع الكوميونتي هون في المتر في السعودية كان قبلك تقريبا.
يا ارسل لي فيديو اصلا ما ادري من وين جايبه، احمد خوجة وايمن كان لسه في شعر كان في شعر، وخوجة كان قاعد يعزف درمز، ايمن قاعد يعزف بيس ما ادري جيتار، وفيصل singing and he's playing guitar. So when I saw the video قاعد اقول what the fuck، من اي عالم جابوا الفيديو هذا؟
من اي دايمنشن؟
This shit happened.
من اي دايمنشن هذول؟
Yes, exactly. أنا literally يعني كنت خارج العالم ده، يعني I was a metal head بس in my own world. Like ما كنت أعرف إنه في metal scene، لأن تكلمنا عن ده الشيء من زمان يعني. بس it's super weird and funny and yet wholesome how everything started and how we are يعني right now. أنا وفيصل almost the same mentality when it comes to music, when it comes to work.
فيصل حكيني انت كمان الانتراكشن حقك مع شو اسمه مع الميتال كوميونتي هون في السعودية قبل أوكتوم ولما أسست أوكتوم.
Ali Marawi told me about a website called SA Metal, and I was shocked. Like I saw this page where it was a bunch of people who were like-minded talking about metal. Okay, well that's really cool. Let's see what else is on there. So there was this video. Okay, so I clicked on the video, and it was a video of a gig, probably Jeddah Metal Resurrection. It had Wasted Land, it had Crimson. I watched the video, and I watched it again, and I watched it again, and I watched it again, and I was like, there is no way that this is here. There is no way. And I remember, like, the first Wasted Land video that I saw Ahmad, the vocalist. And I saw him sing with such passion and power, but I said to myself right off the bat, I was like, me and this guy, we are never going to be friends. For some weird reason, I thought to myself, we are never going to be friends. And the irony behind all of this is that we are such good friends. It's like you could not picture someone who is kinder and more humble. He's literally the sweetest guy you could ever meet.
That's what I made it for James Hetfield.
Oh my God,
it's
you did.
supposed to be mine, but
right.
I made it for James Hetfield because he begged me.
Yeah.
He was, please do it. I would like to have this. I say, dude, those are mine. He say, no, please. I say, all right.
Of course.
It's things like that keep bringing me back to the metal community. Yeah, I mean, the performances that they were putting on back then, they were great. They were great, and they were working with what they had. There were people there. People were there. People were enjoying the music. I thought to myself, okay, let me start my own band. And SA Metal had some thread about musicians who want to meet up, or if you're looking for a musician to start a band, you post something there. So that's what I did.
نفس اللي عمله جود مع بريز of the dying. نفس القصة.
Yeah.
كل الناس راحوا على هذا الثريد اللي هناك وقالوا يلا بدنا نعمل باند بالستايل كذا.
شوف sametal.org على سهولة اسمه and الهيستوري حقه الصغير، اللي الامباكت حقه was huge and massive. يعني I don't know who's the creator behind it. ناسي اسمه، بس he was a غامدي. أنا ناسي شو اسمه، والله يذكره بالخير.
كمال؟
لا كمال is from Deathless Anguish. It was someone غامدي ناسي شو اسمه. He was برضو bald with glasses وكذا. المهم he created SA Metal. Maybe deep down inside ما كان في باله إنه he's gonna create all of this. أكيد كان في باله بس just a forum يجمع فيه الميتال heads that can discuss music and metal and just enjoy it. but he created a lot of bands and a lot of moments and a lot of achievements. So whatever we achieved, احنا بريز أوكتوم ويستد and كل هذه الباندات اللي في البلد ترى ترجع الفضل يرجع له literally. يعني بريز was born من عنده أوكتوم ويستد Mortal Pain. Look at the names. ترى very heavy names, like so scary names when it comes to الميتال scene حق السعودية. Creative Waste if I'm not كمان mistaken مع Deathless وساوند اوف روبي يعني كان لهم يد مرة قوية to push say metal. It's a huge impact للسين كامل. So credit يعني must be given to him.
100%. 100%. I can tell you right now, without sametal.org, Ooktoom would not have existed. 100%.
أولا كان عرفت فيصل أصلا.
على فكرة أنا معرفتي ترى في أوكتوم مرة قليلة، ما أعرف كثير ترى عن أوكتوم. ما أعرف اللي هي يمكن أغنية 60 Fires، والأغنية الثانية اللي أرسلت لي إياها اللي أنا ناسية، والله ناسي شو اسمها يعني ما أكذب عليك. أعطيني كذا بريف عن أوكتوم، إنه كيف الباند تأسست، الاسم، الممبرز، الستايل تبعكم.
قبل لا يتكلم فيصل، لا حقاطع، قبل لا يتكلم فيصل، اللي ما حضر الجيكس حقت أوكتوم والله ما شاف شيء. I'm not saying this عشان فيصل أنا متأكد إنه you remember لو أنت بتغني وبتعزف you remember me and مدني. Imagine خالد كيف everyone was like crazy because يعني I'm sorry يعني شوي قاعد أتدخل في كلامك بس literally Ooktoom مو بس thrash, like they had the groove, they had the fun. It's a lot of what you hear في 966 ترى influenced من الجو والvibe اللي كانوا يجيبوه Ooktoom. So I'm just saying this up front كذا يعني amazing. الناس اللي ما حضروها like literally كل ما أقفل عيني I can remember everything.
We're gonna get to the gigs. But what you was talking about is we had these metal nights for Jeddah. Every event was such a powerful event. We would always open for Breeze of the Dying, but I remember sitting in for the Breeze of the Dying shows, and the next day I would wake up and my back would be so sore. I can't move my neck, and I'm thinking to myself, what happened last night? Oh yeah, I was headbanging non-stop the entire time these guys were on. So, you know, we thought, yeah, great. We're hyping people up for the main show, which was always Breeze of the Dying. And those nights, I will tell you right now, like من أحلى أيام حياتي. It was by far one of the best nights. Like those gigs, they were memorable. And I tried to, you know how you forget like certain memories of the past? These are ones that I will always cherish and will always try to never forget because they left such a huge impact on me, and I hope that our performances left an impact on the people that showed up. But Ooktoom, it started after I looked into SA Metal, watched the videos, started making friends in my school. One guy that I made friends with, his name is Sammy. Sammy's Haman. Sammy got me into Children of Bodom.
ونعمل الفرند هذا بصراحة أحييه والله أحييه.
Yeah, Children of Bodom, Slipknot, Killswitch Engage, all of these like modern metal bands that still have a huge influence on my playing today. And I said, you know what, dude, why don't we start a band? I was also friends with Fawaz Abu Ghazal's cousin, and he was our bass player for a while, but we needed a drummer. No one we knew played drums, and anybody else that was playing drums that we knew was playing drums for someone else.
مشكلة عالمية في عالم الميتال هيدز. إذا لقيت الدرامر هذا بتتمسك فيه وخلاص ولا تسيبه يعني.
Yeah. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna put out an ad on SA Metal and say that I need a drummer. So I did that, and I got a reply from someone. I don't know what his username was, but he was like, I'm down to play drums. I have a drum kit. Let's meet up. طبعا this was my first time. Okay, I was 15. My first time meeting someone over the internet. I was freaking out. Like, what if this guy was like a serial killer or something? Like, I don't know. What if he...
The opposite.
Yeah, exactly. And he goes, hey, get into my car. I have cookies or something. You know what I mean? Like, what if he was that kind of person? So I said, let's just meet up at a public place. So we met up at Applebee's. And I remember I was with Sammy's Haman at the time, and I was like, Sammy, you gotta go out first and check if this guy's legit. And Sammy's like, why do you want me to go out, bro? I'm like, because you're big and scary. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So I got a message from at that point I knew who he was. His name was Mohammed Kupunji. He says I'm outside. So I send Sammy outside. Sammy comes back and tells me the guy's legit, and I meet this dude. And he had such a soft spoken voice. I was like, yo, this does not sound like the guy that I met, that I was talking to online. But again, proving myself wrong, this guy ended up being the closest thing to a brother. I mean, I will always cherish those memories with him. And he was the reason why Ooktoom was able to put out the album. He would do the recording, he would do the mixing, he would do the mastering, he would play his drums. He was always the person that would tell me, no, you need to record that guitar bit again because it needs to be absolutely perfect. And so, we said, fine, let's get this going. I didn't know what genre that we wanted to play, but the idea was something close to Metallica. And we needed a lead guitar player. Sammy was busy at the time, so we needed a lead guitar player. And that's when I met some great players. First guy I met was Madani, actually. Madani is, as you know, a legend, an artist, an amazing human being, and a phenomenal guitar player. But, I think in it really comes down to fit, and he felt like he was better off using his talents elsewhere. And he did. He used his talents off in Breeze of the Dying, and he was fantastic. And after Madani, Ahmed Khalil, who also ended up leaving us and went for Fire Cell, I think, or Breeze of the Dying, or
As a
both.
bassist.
Okay, he was
bassist.
Whoa.
and I was like, okay, well, fine. And then I was looking for another lead guitar player, and Fawaz introduced me to this kid, and we were all kids back in the day. And his name was Sultan Radwan. This guy was, I don't know how he does what he does. He would hear a song and he'd pick it up just like that.
MashaAllah.
He got me into every possible band you could think of. Creator, Megadeth, Slayer, Anthrax. He would play in a way that I just, every time I left his place, I said, I'm gonna put this guitar down. I can't. There's no way. I don't think I'll ever be able to achieve that level. Sultan invited me over one day and said, you have to hear this album. It was called The System Has Failed by Megadeth. That changed my taste in music forever. I fell in love with thrash, and that's when I said Ooktoom's going to be thrash. And after we went through the cycle of guitar players, Sultan joined the band. He was the guitar player on the album. We had Omar leave because he had to do other things as well. And then ended up getting a bass player by the name of Mohammed Mudarris, who at the time was, I think, 14 years old. I think that was basically the final lineup of Ooktoom. And then we switched between Sultan and Sammy because Sammy knew the songs from Octum. So sometimes we'd have Sultan, sometimes we'd have Sammy. But in terms of the consistent players, it was always me and Kumkumji. Like, yeah, Kumkumji is just a stand-up guy. I feel like I'm going to compliment him every single time I talk about him. So, you know, he really does. He really does. To this very day, there are only two people that I kept in touch with when I left the Saudiya from the metal community. It's Jude and Kumkumji.
Kumkumji على فكرة واحد من أرهب الناس.
now ماجد.
كومجي عظيم. لا كومجي عظيم ترى، مو بس عشان أوكتوم. he's the sole reason إنه بريز of the dying لهم legacy، لأنه هو كان اللي سجل لنا الألبوم. like mixed it, mastered it وتعب معانا. imagine dealing مع خالد وماجد 2 سهرانيز مو 1 2. so he dealt معاهم. imagine that. so all credit to him يعني. without him لا أوكتوم لا بريز كنا موجودين يعني.
واو. بالنسبة لبريز شو اسمه بالنسبة لأوكتوم وبريز، الأول انتراكشن لإلكم كان في واحدة من النايتس ولا إيش القصة اللي صارت بالضبط؟ يعني كيف أنتوا الاثنين تكلمتوا؟ يعني
فيصل ممكن حيحب فكرة إنه إحنا شبكنا في إنا نايت، بس ما شبكنا إنا نايت. it was I think it was like عشان ماجد كان يعرف كومجي، إذا ما خاب ظني ماجد وخالد كانوا يعرفوا كومجي. وأنا كان عندي البيت أنا في البحر، فكنا نتمرن هناك بريز. I guess we ماجد وخالد invited you guys, invited Oaktum over to practice عندنا. and we clicked يعني from that day. like كنت I think إنه كانت أول مرة أتعرف فيها على فيصل والشباب. like can you imagine back في 2007 تقريبا في البحر in the middle of nowhere. كان وقتها البحر middle of nowhere وغرفتين جنب بعض بيننا جدار. like 2 different bands practicing at the same time.
Did you come to the gig that was right across from Bremen?
Right across Bremen.
It was in a compound.
عرفت الكمباوند بس الجيج هناك ما حضرت اصلا اي جيجات.
You know what? I completely forgot that gig.
I'm gonna send you a video where Madani actually does a dive bomb on stage. Like he gets up on the stage and actually jumps onto the crowd. It's a true story. I have it.
Nice. Send it.
I think that's where we first met. But Jude is talking about this beach house. This beach house actually has a lot of significance. Breeze of the Dying were so consistent. I think it was every Tuesday. You guys had practice there every Tuesday. I think
Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah, you guys had practice there. So we started showing up. We started, partaking in our practice sessions. They had their own practice sessions. And then Jude was like, listen, we have this spot next door. Do you guys want to use it and turn it into something? Sure. We actually turned it into a studio. And I think that's where you guys recorded your album as well. We recorded the Octum album there and in Kumji's place. And I remember you guys must have done it there too as well. Am I right?
لا احنا بس سجلنا Blame Me Not There. بعدين the whole album was re-recorded في بيت كومجي في الروضة. فاكره؟ Yeah.
هناك سجلته اللي هو الاي بي تبع اوكتوم اللي هو Fighting for Freedom.
Yeah.
ايش اللي صار بعد هيك يعني how things are ended يعني ليش اوكتوم هيك فجأة اختفت؟
We played gigs. I think every week?
Every weekend.
Every other.
Almost
every weekend.
بذكر جود حتى حكى انه كانوا بريز مين كمان ايش كان اسمه empty quarter اوكتوم ومين كمان بعد ريفرز ران. يا فايش اللي صار مع اوكتوم؟
Well, we at the end of it, we were playing these gigs and it was fine. And then I left. I mean, I graduated school and I went, you know what? It's time for me to go to university. And I decided to go to university in Canada. And then it was really sad because around 2009, I saw Breeze of the Dying were doing really well. They were on this article. I think it was with, was it Rolling Stone?
Yeah.
It was Rolling Stone. And then they had a premiere on a TV show. I think Wasted Land was CNN. You guys were MTV.
MTV, yeah.
And after that, and not because of that, but after that, because of other things as well, the entire scene just went dark. And when I came here, I joined a band, and it was a punk band, and I learned a lot because playing live here is very different than playing live in Saudiya. Right? At that point, we didn't do a sound check. We literally plugged our stuff in and we were like, play. Here, there was like sound checks. There was in-ear monitors. There was, it was so regimented and different that in the beginning, I really didn't like it.
تحس كده انك دخلت عالم مختلف قاعد تقول what is even that احنا هذه الاشياء ما بنعملها انتوا ثقافتكم غير ثقافتنا في شيء كده غريب في الميوزك.
It wasn't thaqafa. It was more like I felt like I was being placed into a corner. But then I came to appreciate it and I learned, why that was so important. And I decided to come back to Saudiya in 2012 to play a show in Bahrain and to play 2 shows in Dubai. But then when I came back to Canada, I said, maybe music is not really my thing, even though deep down inside I knew that it was. So I put all of that on hold. And I went to law school. I became a lawyer. And then all of a sudden, Jude pops up in my feed. Hey man, how's it going? That's basically how we got to where we are now.
I know Faisal almost at the same time we felt disappointed with music. يعني أنا around 12 or around 2011 I was like خلاص I lost hope and
واو.
So it's interesting.
بس تعرف ايش الميزة اللي عندكم يا جود؟ انتوا الاثنين both of you encountered انه عشتوا مع الميتال كوميونتي هون في السعودية وبرا السعودية. في differences انتوا شفتوها.
عشان كذا اقول لك زي ما قلت لك يعني almost like 20 minutes ago يعني سبحان الله أنا وفيصل like twins بس from different planets كذا intertwined.
طيب حاب اني اسالكم انتوا الاثنين شويه عن الميتال كوميونتي هون في السعوديه. اوصف لي الكوميونتي هون مقارنه حتى مثلا ببرا وايش الاحساسك يعني اعطيني وصف كده للكوميونتي هون يعني.
So ما نهرب من الواقع يا ايس. اي industry فيها negatives وفيها positives. All right. Sometimes when you're from the outside, you see positives more than negatives. And sometimes when you're from the inside, you see a lot of negatives and sometimes shocking negatives and sometimes few positives. الناس اللي عاشت البرايم تايمز أو الجولدن إيرا اللي هي 2006 to 9 حتى اللي قبلنا يعني ما نبغى نحكرها اللي قبلنا اللي هم Sound of Ruby, Deathless, Wasted Land, Immortal Pain. احنا لما جينا like a new age في ذاك الزمن we clicked معاهم and we understood our mission and we understood how this should be a family that goes and survives جيل after جيل عارف. So that's why لما تيجي مثلا تشوف أنا مع Wasted مع Immortal we're all friends. We're all good friends like one big family. Sometimes ممكن نزعل من بعض بس it's all within الميوزك. It's not على personal level. لأنه إحنا كلنا بنقدر بعض على personal level نحب بعض ونخاف على بعض ونهتم في بعض. بس sometimes لما تبدأ تجيك أشياء من برا entities وتبدأ تدخل everybody wants to utilize what this family has accomplished and wants to ride the coattail حقها for their own purposes, which we don't mind if your own purposes would help our purposes. So we can shake on it and we can be one good relationship. But when you utilize our shit for your own purposes without us knowing, or at least يعني sneaking your way in just to get the benefits من ورانا, then this is really bad. This is really bad. So you cannot run away from toxicity. But it's موجودة all over the world. بس I'll tell you this. The Saudi metal scene والسعودي metal community overall is one of the best. يعني أنا رحت الأمريكي, I've clicked مع حقين Massachusetts, الإيست والنورث والويست. يعني I've seen different areas من أمريكا. It's a lot worse over there than here. It's a lot worse. بس what's different, البوتنشل هناك مفتوح. يعني you can actually venture في البوتنشل حقك and you actually take care of it. عارف, you can guide it to the way you want. الوضع عندنا احنا هنا في السعودية one big ass family, بس we don't know البوتنشل حقنا yet. لأنه ما حد فينا wants to venture في ذا البوتنشل. Me and Faisal, we're risking. عارف, we are risking our time, our professional life to venture and see where we can take this, because we wanted to take a metal scene, مو بس احنا, we wanted to take a metal scene further back in 2007. We wanted to push it to the maximum, but we couldn't for obvious reasons. Now it's a different age, a different world, but apparently it's who can survive it these days. يعني احنا family, but who can survive it, who wants to push it to the limit. هذه هي. Basically it's a good community, but it's hard to manage unfortunately.
وفيصل يعني انا عارف انه انت غبت عن ال يعني الكوميونتي من السعودية لفترة طويلة، بس الفترة اللي رجعت فيها ان نزلت على الرياض ورحت قابلت رحت على فينيوز، رحت على قابلت اكيد باندز، وبرضو اجيت هون برضو على جدة. فبرضو حابب اني اسمع منك يعني ايش انت حاسس لما تشوف الكوميونتي من الماضي والوقت الحاضر يعني؟
The first thing is, if you want to be a part of any metal community, the best place to be a part of that metal community is Saudiya. You know, you will never meet a group of people that are all about making sure that you succeed. Even, you know, they want to succeed, but they also want to see you succeed. No one in our metal community wants to see any band fail. And everyone is pushing each other further to make better music. In the past, that community was so tight-knit because we were all underground. Okay, we were all underground, and we all knew that maybe talking about metal and showing up in a t-shirt that has you know, heavy designs and stuff, maybe that's taking a risk. But we did it, and we all knew, you know, that we were part of this community of friends that would support one another no matter what. Yani, a good example is you know, even to this very day, I can hit up Ayman Al-Ghamdi, for example, and be like, hey man, can I get some feedback on this song? He'd be like, absolutely. You know, I could call Kumji, which we did. We called Kumji. We said, Kumji, we need you to record Magic. We didn't have to, oh, how's it going? You know, let's catch up. And we went straight to it because that bond is really unshakable. There's something about that early metal community that I think will never be the same again. But that's not a bad thing, because Saudiya kullaha now is changing. I came back to Saudiya in December of 2022. I came back a year before that in 2021. I didn't really do a lot of exploring in the metal community, but then I came back the year after that with the intention to do that. So Jude was kind enough to introduce me to Gigi from Heavy Arabia. We spoke briefly over Zoom, and then we decided to go to Dune released their single, and said let's meet up and go to this show together. So I met up with her. We met up for coffee, and we started talking about the metal community. Ace, Gigi is unbelievably smart. She knows exactly what she's doing, and she is a force to be reckoned with. She's pushing the scene forward in a way that it has never been pushed before.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Totally
I mean,
agree.
look at Jude and I tried to do that with our metal nights for Jeddah. Okay, and that was a lot of work. Imagine now having to do that times 100. That's what she's doing. She's bringing in international artists. She's pushing local artists to perform in various parts of Saudiya, in Dubai. Like, she's not, this is my plan. She's like, this is my plan and I'm doing it and executing it right now. And I'm doing a really good job. You know, and that's something that when I spoke to her, I went, this is a huge asset to have in the country for the metal community. And, you know, people should not underestimate her value, because, like I said, she is a force to be reckoned with, and she's doing a fantastic job.
الكونكشنز الموجودة عندها كمان حتى للناس يعني اللي بتعرفهم من برا، وال putting the Saudi on the انه تحط السعودية انه في الميتال كوميونيتي، يعني من ضمن الجهود تبعتها بصراحة شيء مرة رهيب يعني.
مو بس الكونكشنز يا ايس. It takes a lot of guts, okay, to do that. يعني a lot of guts and a lot big cojones to actually do what she's doing. يعني what we did back then ترى almost 10% of what she's doing. Like ما كان في rules أول في وقتنا، ما كان في relegations. كل اللي كنا نسويه like put up السماعات، جيب البانز، جيب الناس and play. We didn't give a shit. لكن اللي هي بتسويه she's going under governmental rules. Is doing a lot of يعني take caring of responsibilities حقت البانز، السفريات. This is a lot of work.
بالضبط.
Imagine dealing with bands. Imagine dealing with bands. This alone is a hectic ass job. So kudos.
Yeah, kudos 100%. So we went to the venue, and the venue for Riyadh is called Syrup. When I first walked into the venue, I started getting a bit of anxiety, because it brought back memories of when we had our first gigs for Jeddah, and that feeling of we're taking a risk. You know, we might be doing something bad by being at a metal show. Okay, so you know, the first person she introduced me to was Abdullah Hamdi from Entropia.
Entropia.
He's actually a great human being, stand-up guy. And he was like, come on in. So we went in, and there was the venue was a venue. There was a stage. There were bleachers essentially, and there were people that were sitting there, and it was an open mic night. And I sit on the first step, and someone looks at me. 966. I'm like, yeah. And he's like, dude, I love Wajah. He's like, Wajah sounds phenomenal. I was like, whoa, where did this come from? You know, I was like, I wanted to tell him, I can't listen to Wajah anymore. It actually hurts, literally. But his name was Faisal Arif. Great vocalist too. So I sat down and watched a couple of open mic performances. It was good. And then Faisal was like, can we talk, let's talk a little bit more about, 966's recording and production. So we went backstage. We were talking a bit about how Wajah was made, how basically how it sounds the way it sounds, and were there any secrets or whatever. So I was about to give him a quick rundown of what we were doing, and then a bunch of people show up, right? And Dune, the guys from Dune show up. What makes Dune really interesting is that they bridge the gap between the old days and the new days, because their guitar player, Abdurrahman
Ghazali, yes.
Abdurrahman Ghazali, the gentist, and I was like, this guy sounds exactly like me. He puts a couple of words in Arabic, but then he speaks English most of the time. I was like, that's my jam, okay? And like we were talking about guitars, and then Dusk comes in. Dusk was just a straight up gentleman. He was very engaging. He would listen to me, I would listen to him. We talked about mixing, we talked about production, and you know, I'm not surprised, because if you listen to Spectrums, for example, it's a great album. It's a great album, and he's really pushing the scene forward with his music. Out of a lot of the bands that are coming out, not necessarily people from the golden era, he's certainly pushing the scene forward, and he's doing a fantastic job. But I ended up watching Doom perform. It was great. It was really nice to see Mamdouh, like someone from the old days and someone from the new age, performing together. They were having a lot of fun. It just, I was like, you know what, this is so good to see. You know, it's so good to see, because this is what Jude and I, wanted, at least, for people to be able to show up and not have to worry, to be able to sit there and to have fun and to just enjoy the music. Everyone was supporting one another. It was fantastic.
And then we met.
And then
for the first time in like 10 years.
And then we met. Yeah, Jude, why don't you take us through that?
So أنا as I remember, the last time I met Faisal like face to face, probably 2011.
Wow, okay.
I can't remember متى يعني بالضبط, to be honest.
2008 بقول لك.
واو, شايف يعني, so almost أكثر من 12 سنة. I wasn't worried at all يعني. I know Faisal pretty good يعني, and I always keep my relationships مع good friends و like brothers. I mean like brothers, عرفت. But to me لما قال لي إنه حيجي, I was super excited to see him, because seeing him is like seeing a flashback للmemories حقتنا كلها, عارف. So when I looked at him the first time, I was like, dude, oh my god, I can smell a beach house coming out منه. So yeah, we sat and we couldn't talk about music, and we only يعني, it was a wonderful night, and I enjoyed it. And I think يعني our relationship يعني mostly we bonded even better يعني from that night. Like we had the same idea, we had the same vision, and it just clicked even more after it, and we got super excited, and we kept pushing like 966. And ترى لا يغرك يعني, it's not only 968 what we're doing a lot of. It's a slow pace because we have lives, and but we're doing it to push يعني even more. So probably I'll give it 2 years maximum till it shows up يعني big time.
يا أخي أظن إنه أنت حتى لما
bunch of guys as well يعني, we all, it was nice to see the crew again, the Jeddah crew. There's actually I think a picture that you posted, Wasted Land posted. We'll just
على 966
pop it up right here. We saw Ayman, we saw Khoja, we saw Ahmad, saw Shadi,
مؤيد,
and then of course, last but not least, DJ Khaled. We saw him. I mean, Ace, we met. We hung out twice actually.
Yeah.
And I mean, you remember that night? It was like all of us getting together, and it was just fun. And keep in mind that before all of this, Jude and I would meet up over Zoom for hours. زي ما قال لك في البداية, we would meet up over Zoom for hours. Okay? After that dinner, I would go home, he would go home, we'd be on Zoom until 6 o'clock in the morning, working on freaking Noob.
Wow.
Okay? So the distance was obviously the distance was a problem back then. Now the distance really isn't, so I get to see Jude almost every day. I talk to him every day, right? We see each other for 10 hours a day. So when I saw him in person, it was nice because it brought back like the memories of that beach house, the memories of the old days. But man, like literally, I can tell you right now, the only person I hang out with more than I do with Jude is my wife.
اسمع بوقع بينه وبين المدام شكل.
حنسوي contract. حنسوي contract. I have my time, she takes her time.
لا بس عارف في جملة انت لما قلت انه لما انت وصلت على جدة وقابلت جود وخلاص انه you get to hang out, انه مو علشان حتى موضوع music او انه to work on some stuff, لا تحس انه اخر مرة انت مستوعب انه انت اخر مرة جلست مع جود اكثر من 14 سنة, ولما قابلته بتحس حسيت انه انت يعني فعليا انا حتى لما قابلتكم كأنكم انتوا لسه جالسين, يعني لسه جالسين مع بعض امبارح, يعني كأنكم متقابلين امبارح وعادي جدا, ولا يعني عارف بعد المسافات بعد وكمان 14 سنة والمدة الزمنية هذه الطويلة تحسها ما غيرت بينكم شيء.
Yeah, not really.
مرة يعني
ما غير شيء like literally يعني ترى ما كنت أتكلم مع فيصل في 14 years هذه. ممكن لو تبى تجمع العدد الأيام اللي تكلمنا فيها يمديك تعدها على أصابعك. Like probably we talked 10 times for over 14 years, can you imagine? بس البوند والبريدج اللي بيني وبين فيصل like it was there, it was solid, and whenever we needed something من أي أحد مننا يعني we were there يعني for each other يعني.
Okay, let's jump into 966. طيب أنا علشان الناس اللي قاعدين يسمعوا
Band is not the band.
إيه؟
Sorry.
The band is
Band is not
the band that is.
لا أنا علشان أبغى أقول لك الانكاونتر اللي صار للناس اللي بيسمعوا واللي بيتفرجوا, علشان أقول لهم أنا كيف عرفت عن 966 لما جود أرسل لي After Burn. قال لي ايس كيفك شو اخبارك 966 هذا مشروع باند ميتال حاب انك تسمع وابغى اسمع رايك فيه. انت عارف ايش اللي صار يا فيصل ذاك اليوم؟ انا كذا هي انا سمعت الاغنيه هذه and I've never been the same since then. لانه انا اللي سمعته شيء غريب والله. انا اقول للناس اللي سمعوا وجع وسمعوا نوب والله
ما سمعت شيء.
والله ما سمعت شيء والله ولا شيء. انا قاعد ديف خلص الاغنيه قاعد اقول ايش هذا. ف
After Burn.
أول شيء إيش الخطر ببالكم تسموه البروجكت 966 يعني what's the لا هنا أنت قاعد تأشر هنا على ستيل شاوت على الجهة الثانية هنا تحت عند فيصل. فيصل
جنب بروس هنا بروس هنا فيصل.
أيوة بالضبط عند بروس 966 عند بروس تحت هنا.
Look, Jude reached out and was like, let's catch up, man. It's been a while. So we caught up and he picked up his guitar and he started playing this riff, right? And I was like, dude, this is such a sick riff. Send it over to me. He's like, okay, I'm going to use Garage. I'm going to send you the whole...
Yeah, keep a secret يا تعبان.
لا دقيقة طلع
Garage band.
طلع الفضاي.
What the is GarageBand? Okay, got me a GarageBand is the only. Okay, fine. Send me whatever on GarageBand. So he sends me the riff on GarageBand. I said, you know, we could turn this into something. Let's meet up over Zoom. We met up over Zoom. The first time we met, it was probably like 2 hours. Okay, started working on the song. I said, you know, why don't we just? Jude was actually the one that was like, let's do this project together. And at first, you know, we were thinking something cosmic, like a cosmic name, something that has to do with like, you know,
Orion.
Yeah, Orion.
شغل كده ambient, something mind blowing.
Yeah, and then you know, I said, why don't we name it 966? It's the area code. حق السعودية 966. It has a nice. It rolls off the tongue nicely, It has meaning behind it. You know, Jude and I feel so proud to be part of, not only so proud to be, you know, Saudi, but so proud to be part of the Saudi metal scene that it was the perfect bridge for both. You know, we want to show appreciation to the country that's allowing us to be who we are now, and to the scene that made us who we are now.
بعدين على فكرة أنا اللي عجبني الحركة إنه حاطين 9 بعدين كلمة 6 وبعدين 6 يعني كده شيء. لا دقيقة من هنا أيوة دقيقة من وين أيوة من هنا.
So when it comes to 966 شوف باختصار شديد يعني to the audience listeners which we love to be honest يعني حتى لو إحنا we're just a startup band بس we love our audience, we love the support. إن كان 5 أشخاص ولا كانوا 100 this was and will forever be our mentality. me and فيصل عارف me and فيصل. So لإحنا we don't give a shit, we play لشخص واحد or we play to thousands ما يفرق معانا as long we're all in the same realm enjoying the same music then خلاص it's fun. So 966 is not only a band, people see it as a band. وزي ما قال فيصل احنا we represent something, مو بس انه السعودية والمثل scene بس we represent more than a band, more than just music. It's a project for me and فيصل. It's a project يعني it's not the type of music مثلا اللي انا احب اعزفه. I'm pretty sure it's not the type of music فيصل اللي يحب يعزفه. بس it's a project for us to open doors للكاجوال فانز, للميتال فانز, للروك فانز, للهيب هوب فانز, للعربي فانز, انهم to understand music in a different vibe that clicks with them, that touches their emotions, their mentality, اي حاجة that connects معاهم. This is what we want to accomplish so we can help the metal scene to boom for all اللي في السعودية والخليج والعرب يعرفوا انه ترى في مثل سين سعودي. We don't want to take مثلا ايش يسموها, we don't want to take credit for it, okay? We don't want it because we know what we're doing أنا وفيصل عارف and we love it. But we want الناس اللي معانا اللي عاشوا التجربة في الجولدن era, we want them to actually get the credit and explode outside السعودية والمثل سين السعودي, including the new age bands كمان. Because a new age, they're more talented, they have a different vision, they have a different set of ideas that they want to develop and push forward. So we want to open those gates. فتحنا الأبواب حتى لو قليل بس we're working على actually big boot على قولتهم كذا big boot the door عارف wide open.
So yeah. طب اسمع جود, مواضيع أغانيكم حكيني عنها يعني فعليا أنت شو اسمه أغنية وجع كان موضوع عن اللي هو المتزوجين أو اللي بده يتزوج وصاحبه, اللي هي كانت الأغنية عبارة عن حوار بين اثنين, واحد متزوج وصاحبه اللي قاعد يوسوس له يقول له لا, ونوب عن الهاكرز اللي في الجيمرز. مواضيعكم كده شوي
شوف
فكده في تشعب في الأغاني عندكم يعني في المواضيع بتتكلموا عنها.
شفت يعني زي قبل شوي لما قلت لك انه almost the majority see us as a band. This comes على نفس النهج مع أغانينا. It might seem like to some people انه noob and hacker. No, it's not only a hacker. هذا surface story of it عارف. يعني في الهاكر which is the bad guy, بعدين في noob that actually won the fight أو اللعبة over الهاكر. So who got the last laugh? النوب الضعيف اللي قاعد يحاول يهرب من الباد entity هذه so he can succeed. So هذا surface image, لكن deep thought out of it إنه كل واحد بيعيش في حياته في أحد بيخرب عليه. وين ما كنت في شغلك مديرك زبالة بيخرب عليك and he always stops you from growing. في المدرسة مدير المدرسة أستاذك دائما يستقعد لك, في بيتك أخوك الكبير. So you always have the last laugh if you play it right. This is what the noob did في أغنية noob. وجع it might sound to you as marriage واحد influence بس في hidden thought behind it. The only song that doesn't have a hidden thought behind it is the afterthought after birth.
straight forward يا حبيبي. شيء يمغص.
Straight forward, Indian food.
بالضبط. شيء يمغص المعدة.
So yeah, basically هذه يعني الستوري حقتنا في الليركس. We try to يعني to color it in a fun way for everyone to enjoy it. بس for us إحنا personally كل واحد عنده different thought about it, different meaning. And our next song will have a stronger meaning, a more different approach to 966. So I'm really looking forward إنه كيف الناس حتنجلط لما تسمع الأغنية الجاية. Because it's way different.
دقيقة.
Crazy
مو after burn؟
after burn بعدين. اوكي. لا في اغنيه يعني حتصير after after burn is an afterthought خلاص للاسف.
اوكي حننزلط من هذا الموضوع. طيب فيصل، واحنا وانا قاعد احضر للحلقه انا كتبت عندي جمله، خليني اقرا لك اياها بالحرف الواحد او كل الحروف كذا كابس. Your weird genre, what is it? I don't need sleep, I need answers. I don't أبغى أعطوني إجابة. What do you guys play?
استنى فيصل قبل لا تتكلم يعني I know إنه أنت تبغى جانرا. شايف كيف الجريد اللي فوق راسي هذا؟
أيوه.
ركز على الجريد اللي فوق راسي. So this grid is like our music. عارف؟ It's so random. It's like whatever comes with us. يعني on the spot we build on it. صح ولا لا يا فيصل؟
100%. Look, I'll tell you how these songs start, okay? They start with Jude. They've started with Jude. Jude will send me a riff where he's in a very happy mood and he'll be like hey man, check out this riff. So send me this riff and then we take it from there.
Yeah, زي ما بيقول فيصل يعني like احنا we start مثلا with the riff and I send it over. بعدين فيصل puts in his magic whether it was instrumentally or through production. بعدين we discuss, عارف, we talk through Zoom where should we go next, like should we build this, should we go with this voicing, with this tonality, and we built. Sometimes like Waja was a whole different song. And we changed it up like on the spot, like نبغى نسوي ده, okay سويناه سجلناه حطيناه. بعدين what's missing, we need a solo. Okay, so أقول لفيصل okay I'm gonna write a solo مثلا الرhythm للسولو, or I'll send it over and use what you want to use. So I send, بعدين نسمع التراك, بعدين أقول باقي breakdown, let's do a breakdown. So I record the breakdown, I send it over, and this is how we process things. نفس الشيء مع نوب, and بعدين we'll talk about the newer track.
Yeah, but what happens is, you know, Jude will record his stuff for Jeddah. He'll send over the DIs most of the time, and then we'll sit here and put the tracks, put the song together. One thing that we're very proud of is that our music is done in-house. Everything from the recording all the way up until the mastering, and it's done by two people that have a huge passion for music. And I think the reception has been positive based on the feedback that I've been getting. And we thought to ourselves, you know what, if we can do this for us, we should probably return the favor to our community and do it for bands that want it.
شوف هلا في سؤال يعني حتعرفوا انتوا قاعدين بتحكوا, انا في شيء هلا سؤال خطر ببالي, يعني it's not written in there, هلا خطر ببالي. How do you feel when you make music and working on music or something you are passionate about, and يعني and I think it's involving all the three of us يعني في هذا الموضوع اللي هو we are passionate about something we love and we have full-time jobs جود عنده شغل، فيصل أنت كمان you're a lawyer، وأنا شغلي كدكتور يعني كمان it's really hectic برضو يعني. How does it feel to manage all the time and all the energy and the effort for making this?
It's difficult to do. ما بقول إنه what we're doing أنا وفيصل is difficult to do يعني ما حد يقدر يسوي زينا. لا في a lot like a lot. بس maybe الليفل الكوميتمنت اللي عندنا في حياتنا برا الباند is way higher. عارف يعني إحنا we're not young. ما عندنا وقت فاضي. Like literally I don't sleep much. Like I sleep for 4 hours. I go straight back to work all day. Sometimes أخذ شغلي في السيارة. Sometimes في النادي. And this is how I coped مع فيصل. Like I understood how he works or how a lifestyle حقه. He understood mine, and both of us accepted this a difference. Yet it's not too different between us. Like he's busy with his life, I'm busy with mine, and we find time for us to respect the work اللي إحنا بنسويه ل 966 or whatever band, and at the same time we respect إنه كل واحد يكون عنده space حقه to use the way they want to use. يعني إذا فيصل wants to say مثلا أبغى break من everything, I would definitely understand. I would tell him, yeah, dude, تبغى تاخد سنة off, خد سنة, I don't mind. But we know in what we're doing, we love it and we enjoy it, and it's too hard to say I need a break. We can't find a break from 966 to be honest. أو مو 966 from music actually يعني.
ايش the future plans ل 966 يعني قلتوا انه في اغنيتين يعني في اغنيه هلا جايه يعني كمان، هل في other plans لهذا الموضوع بالنسبه ل 966 فيصل؟
Look, we're always going to keep making music. Music is going to be our priority as 966 the band. The next song that we have coming out is a different song. We see basically the like Jude was saying in the beginning, we have a whole set of songs. Now it's just a matter of picking what song to work on next. And that's basically the idea that we had. We said, let's not just release our first song right away. Let's build something so that we have, when we're actually busy, we can just focus on the mixing and the mastering of the song. We decided to start 966 Records. And the idea was to, the idea was to start to help, metal bands and hip hop artists in the kingdom realize their full potential. And I don't say that in that they don't realize their full potential. That's not it. Because the talent exists. There is a lot of talent for Saudiya. But in every industry, you need a certain group of people around you to help you be better. And I think that that's something that we can provide. And we do that by bringing, I'm a lawyer. I'd like to bring in my professional experience into that area. Jude has extensive experience in marketing. I mean, listen, this guy, without him, I don't think 966 would be put on the map. What we want to do is we want to take the guesswork out of it by being super transparent with certain things. Like, we want to be very transparent about why we're doing this. And we hope that artists that join us can hold us accountable for the things that we say. Because at the end of the day, Ace, what most bands need to realize, and I feel like they're starting to, is that when you're in a band, you're in a business. Your creative skills and your talent can generate money. And most people in bands don't like the idea of business. And we want to take that role so that they could focus on creating their music and performing. Okay? And most people will think of labels later on down the line, but the time to operate efficiently is now.
والله يعني أنا بتمنى لكم التوفيق. وبصراحة يعني حتى النقاط اللي أنت ذكرتها على الريكورد ليبل يعني بصراحة I'm shocked يعني by that. يعني يمكن حتى يمكن جود قالها بالحلقة عنده، بس خاصة بدي أسمع كمان من فيصل. يعني فيصل مع السنين هذه كلها من حبك للميوزك لتعلمك للميوزك، الفترة اللي مرت فيها مع أوكتوم وسافرت وشفت السين برا ورجعت شفت السين هون مرة تانية ومع بروجكت 966، you gained an experience all over these years. What experience you learned through these years you want to tell everyone who's watching and listening to this episode, and you want to apply it in the future for yourself?
Go at whatever you decide to do at your own pace. Don't compare yourself to anybody else, because that's only gonna create unnecessary tension. At the end of the day, if you set your mind to do something, you will do it your own way. And if you know yourself, you will probably do a very good job. And don't worry about what other people say to criticize you or whatever, because at the end of the day, what they probably say is more a reflection of how they feel about themselves than how they actually feel about you.
Guys,
Dude.
يعني I've asked him this question and لما سألته في المقابل, بس I want to hear it from 966 perspective.
شوف, I think يعني from 966 زي ما قلت لك يعني ما رحنا بعيد. Like we're trying to let people know إنه لو أنت a die hard metal fan ولا die hard metal head ولا die hard metal musician, there is no shame in enjoying music of different kinds and trying out new stuff. And يعني لو لعبت حاجة not metal, it doesn't belittle you between the metal community. It's just music at the end of the day, and it's just come plug in يخلي لك gain or overdrive and you sound metal. Without it, you don't sound metal. عارف, it's just how you deliver your music. 966 is a metal band, but it's not a metal band. عارف?
Is it even a band?
It's not even a band. I'm sorry, but you know, يعني we don't use الميتال effects a lot. Like لما مثلا آلية, لما هتسمعوا آلية لما تنزل, you'll see a huge fucking difference, like crazy difference من 966. Like 966 is like an inch of what آلية will be. يعني this is crazy يعني, and we're not rushing آلية, and this how scary it sounds. إنه أنا وفيصل we're not rushing آلية زي ال 966. 966 is a bit rushed, but it took off the right way. آلية is slowly cooked till we find what we want to sound like. We don't يعني, one thing I share with Faisal is like we don't want to sound like anyone else. Even though a little bit, still we want to يعني لما حد يسمعني يقول oh shit هدول هم 966, هدول هم آلية. And soon, should I say it, Faisal? شو؟ اوكي soon هذا عندك حصري يا ايس. نعطيك حصريات.
الله 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 الله. ايوه يا اخي كذا, هذه الاخبار الحلوه. هات.
You ready?
هات. My body is ready.
طيب okay, so Breeze of the Dying حيرجع. هو وانا وسيم members يعني البقيه, we're gonna get
Yes!
So this is the first step.
Yes!
First step بالنسبة لنا. It doesn't mean إنه it's not coming back. We're gonna venture for أوكتوم.
دقيقة طارت السماعة, طار كل شيء عندي.
So اللي قاعد أقول لك هو إنه هذا الشيء ما يمنع إنه نجرب كمان أوكتوم يرجع في السوق. So Breeze is one step for us to mix new stuff, enjoy new stuff, and get the old days back. Ooktoom is coming. برضو حيجي في الطريق. We're focusing on composing كمان أشياء لشاكر. We want to work, we want to put شاكر في السوق in a different way. We want hip hop to sound different للhip hop community في السعودية. Because لاحظنا إنه الhip hop community في السعودية بيمشوا على tracks already established online and they buy it off. But لا, احنا we want to play their music. We want to make them sound and pop different all over the world. So yeah, Breeze of the Dying is our next step, inshallah. And we have one ready song, by the way. يعني.
اسمع والله شكله انطرش الحين. والله بصراحة these are wonderful news، وبصراحة مرة أنا مبسوط فيها يعني. الجلسة معكم لا تمل، وبصراحة ساعتين احنا قاعدين نسجل، والله أنا ما طفشت ولسه بتكلم كمان وكمان. شكرا لوقتكم بصراحة، مرة انبسطت بالكلام معاكم. ولكل الناس اللي قاعدين يسمعوا وبيشوفوا الحلقة فولو 966، كل الروابط موجودة في الديسكريبشن. فيصل وجود، أترك الكلمة الأخيرة لإلكم وبعدها حقفل الحلقة. فجود إيش في عندك كلمة؟
just زي دائما شكرا ايس. I always enjoy انه اطلع معك even لو كان على عدد قليل، لكن I always enjoy it. It's always fun and it's always an experience معك. So thank you for the opportunity.
حبيبي
and follow ace وستيل شاوت زي دائما.
حبيبي جود، الله يعطيك العافية. وأكيد يعني برضو إن جلسات تانية وحوارات ثانية يعني، وما ننحرم منك يعني إن شاء الله. وأتمنى لك كل التوفيق يعني. فيصل.
Peace.
Deuces.
I can't really add more than what Jude said. You know, like I have already told you how much I appreciate watching your videos. Being a part of your channel is such a great privilege. Thank you for having us. You know, thank you for all of those who decided to watch the full video. I don't know how you guys did it, but thank you. And hopefully we will see you soon in person, perhaps live. You never know. As a band.
Who knows? لكل المستمعين والمشاهدين follow 966 جود وفيصل. And stay tuned, more projects, more coming up بالميتال سين هون بالسعودية. وتحية للشباب هون، يعطيكم العافية. ولا تنسوا فولو على كل الروابط موجودة. ستيل شاوت الحلقة موجودة على اليوتيوب وعلى سبوتيفاي، على كل المنصات الاستماع البودكاست. والله صارت عندي منصات كتير يعني الاستماع البودكاست، فكل الروابط موجودة. يعطيكم العافية، نشوفكم على خير and see ya.